Welcome back to another episode of Walk-Ins Welcome. I like to say that I am your host, but I really am not. Michael Ray is the host, and I'm more his co-host, Nick Ward. I just kind of feel like that's what it is, man. You roll the place, you keep everything going and moving forward. Anyway, welcome to Walk-Ins Welcome, where we help patient care businesses triple their revenue through digital marketing services and exceptional patient experience, and now brand new equipment. Michael, we're talking podcast today. Go, buddy.
We are. So this is a bonus episode, honestly.
Totally a bonus episode.
And it's mostly because I'm assuming this episode may come out after one episode we recorded on this new equipment. But the goal of today's episode is every time we interview somebody, half of them are saying, hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. What do you suggest? Or what equipment to buy? Or can you go listen to mine? How can I make it better? And we ask the same questions too, like how can we make ours better? And recently, as of a week ago, so this is the last week of September, so just a week ago, we bought a whole bunch of new equipment.
Right.
And hopefully you can hear the difference, because if you can't hear the difference, that's really sad.
If not, we can, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I know. It sounds amazing to us. And
super colorful in here, too.
Yeah, there's lots of things going on. If you go check us out on YouTube, you'll see some of the equipment here, not all of it. And then if you go to our TikTok, you'll actually see the before and after TikTok. Is that Nick the Marketer, or is that the which TikTok?
So that's the Nick the Marketer.
That's Nick the Marketer. Yeah, so Nick the Marketer, our parent company, go to that TikTok account, you'll see a transition video of where our podcast room started to today.
Right.
It's quite significant.
It is.
But anyway, so what we want to do is talk about the progress of our podcast in terms of how do we do it, what's our equipment look like, our process just in general, because it's not rocket science. It's just consistency and slowly. This is what I've learned. You can have great content. If you have great content, the equipment will come later. Don't be so caught up on the equipment or the money invested to get it going. Just start putting out content.
I love it.
That's how, if you look at listen to our first episodes, we started out on a Blue Yeti mic, which is $130 as of today.
Right.
They range, of course, but they're like the gold standard microphone. And they work pretty well. I think for much better recording than your laptop microphone or anything, or right off your webcam microphone, the Yeti works pretty well. We currently have one for our meetings still in our conference room because it works. It's a great like conference style you can change it to. But that was our starting point, and we recorded a bunch of episodes on it, and then we decided to upgrade, kinda.
Yeah, we have a path for that.
Yeah.
But before we go down the path, let's talk about some of the stuff that we started with, because my first takeaway in all of this is you get started with what you have.
Yeah.
Or at least a small investment, right? You probably already have a computer that'll record. We were using my laptop, and we would just bring my laptop in here, and we would set up the podcast studio every single time we had to do a podcast. Every time.
And we didn't have lights.
Nope.
We didn't have... I don't even think we were doing video. I think it was just audio, wasn't it? Oh, it was on GarageBand. Yeah, it was just audio.
It was on GarageBand.
Which nothing wrong with GarageBand. And
it came with my computer that I already owned.
Right. And so with the exception of the Yeti mic, that was the only equipment we bought. So
in all fairness on that, though, we bought the Yeti mic because we needed it to do Zoom meetings with clients.
Yeah, because
we repurposed that for the podcast.
We had bought the Yeti mics because of COVID, and we had switched over to tons of, like everyone else, virtual meetings. Well, in virtual meetings, of course, better audio is always preferred, and especially when we start having conference room style meetings. So we have a screen in our conference room and a laptop connected to it. It became terrible until we got that Yeti mic in the middle so people could talk and people could hear. So yeah, but we repurposed it, right? So we had two at one time.
We did.
But
we also traded those up.
We did.
Because there was an ex-boyfriend involved. And I'm not going to go into the details, but our upgrade was through circumstance.
Yeah, we took advantage of a situation, and she turned. It was good for her, good for us. So, but the way it came out was
bad for him.
Bad for him. we lucked out. So, I would say 10, 15 episodes in,
something around there.
We said, hey, we need 2 mics. We don't need one mic with 2 people on it. It doesn't sound that good. Well, let's improve it. So if you're on YouTube, I'm holding right now our old setup. So this is between the current and the very first Yeti mic. So this guy is an audio box USB 96 little interface. I think they're like $100 or $150, and it allows for 2 mics to plug in. And we have an Audix Audix ADX51
Yeah, that's it.
condenser mic. So we have 2 condenser mics plugged into this guy, which is via USB into the worst adapter ever made for a MacBook.
Quite possibly, yes.
Because that joker kept failing and kept failing. There was one episode that we had to trash.
Yeah. That
Because
was a good one too, man.
I don't even remember what it was, but it was. I remember like it like halfway through, it just turned off.
Right.
And we thought it was the interface, but ultimately I think it ended up being the adapter. Anyway, we recorded 40 more episodes with that setup, and it had its ups and downs. The most frustrating part that had to be the setup process.
Right. Every week.
We come in, bring your laptop in, plug it up, let's make sure it works, and then we would have a Zoom interview with somebody, and sometimes I remember it would just drop.
I remember, and you go back and listen to it because we went ahead and published it anyway, but it is a jank episode. It was with Megan Chitwood.
That's right.
And I had to go back, and it was about the power of networking, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I had to go back, and I had to become an actor and act out my questions as if I was in the moment when I was absolutely not in the moment.
Yeah.
And it comes across as so bad. But
yeah.
whatever. People listen to it.
They did. But no, so like we've been through, and then the idea of putting the GarageBand, exporting that. I think one time a file got corrupt. Something weird happened to, like it stopped recording and we didn't know it halfway through.
Right.
Interesting stuff. So all I can say is we've had our up and downs. We're hoping that from an audience standpoint, y'all never noticed.
Well, right now you're talking them out of creating their own content.
No.
I don't blame those at this point.
But
with all the
I'm saying this,
kerfuffles, but they're fun.
But we kept going,
We did,
and
yep.
we kept adding episodes. And the biggest thing we did was that we had a hard schedule. Friday at 1 o'clock, we record an episode.
That's right.
Doesn't matter if we're interviewing. Doesn't matter if we don't really have a topic right offhand. We will spend time to create one and build one out and record, and then go from there with it. And then one of our coworkers, he loves music. The intro music that you've been hearing recently, he did it.
Yeah, he wrote it.
Yep.
And played it.
Wrote it, played it, recorded it, gave it to us, and now it's part of our intros. We may be updating it soon to just a newer version, but he loved it. He loved doing it, and we loved him doing it for us. Anyway, but so like that's the transition that we've been going through. We're basically 50 episodes in, and then as a celebration, we reinvested into the podcast. And so this is what we can talk about today, just a little bit of what did we buy? Why did we do this? And I'm hoping people that hear it say, yeah, it does sound a whole lot better.
Well, I'll give some vision here, right? The original vision was to put out amazing content that was going to serve the urgent care community. We then expanded out to serve patient care businesses.
Yep.
Okay. But the whole point was these are clients. Not every person that we come across, not every business that we come across is a business that either wants to do business with us, has a budget to do business with us. That doesn't alleviate our concern for the community. We genuinely love the patient care space. We love the urgent care space, and it's a community that we love to serve.
Yeah.
So making sure that we were putting out content on a regular basis that was going to have high value with actionable steps that you could take away and implement into your business was important to us. All right. So what happened though in that process is of putting out the content, people would start writing into us, people would start calling us, people would start asking us questions, and lo and behold, people started to want to do business with us.
We had quite a few people interact with us from the standpoint, I'm thinking about starting an urgent care.
Yeah.
You guys came to mind. I've been listening to you. What suggestions do you have? And you know, we're marketing focused, so we couldn't like give them a business plan.
Right.
But that's just something to say, right? Like we do know the business,
Right.
and we're able to help people, and that
We were able to help them.
Yep.
Our good friend Felicia, who
Yeah.
rocks at starting up not agencies, rocks at starting up urgent cares. We were able to put them in touch with Felicia, and I think she's mentoring them now.
And then just recently, we've been able to help connect somebody to other people we've interviewed but a potential job situation,
That's
which is
right.
really cool.
It's
Like,
become like a network.
it's a little community, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We got a little community going on here, all from a podcast, honestly.
It started with content.
Yep.
Right? But we reinvested what y'all have brought to us. Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
We do appreciate it. We love that you want to do business with us. But on the flip side of that, when you do, we took that money and instead of putting it in pad and pockets, we took it and reinvested it right back into you.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, that's not even an exaggeration. We took that exact amount of money and reinvested it right back into the podcast.
Yep, we have. And so let's talk about that real quick. So, and let's put numbers to it because I don't
shoot.
care. So let's rewind. So the Yeti mic was $130.
Right.
That was our first investment. This was a trade on a Yeti
In relationship.
in relationship. But retail, I think this is probably like with the two mics interface, you're probably looking at $300 to $400.
Sure.
Probably. Then we're like, all right, time to reinvest and do real stuff. So we went all in, and what you can't see here, what you're listening through, is we got a Rodecaster Pro 2 board.
RODE, if you're going to look that up.
Yeah, RODE Caster Pro 2. This one just came out. They had a previous Pro 1 that people loved, and this Pro 2 came out earlier this year, I think like 2 months ago.
Do y'all want to hear how awesome this is?
What
Do you want to hear how awesome it is? It's got buttons and sounds.
It's got, now, you may not be hearing all these sounds. We're learning with Zoom. But we have
Okay.
pre-programmed stuff. It is some hilarious things.
I wish somebody had filmed us putting this thing together.
Wait, hang on.
Uh-oh. Michael found more buttons.
Uh-oh, too many buttons. So even the darn button.
Oh, yeah. Right. We have all the things.
We have.
And we can even pitch things and all that fun stuff.
Everybody's dropping off the podcast.
Yeah, I
as
know,
we speak.
sorry.
Let's not talking like that.
Anyway. All right, moving back. So Rodecaster Pro 2 is the board. Take the board, it plugs into a computer. We wanted something that wouldn't grow legs, and so we got a Mac Mini, which plugs in USB-C. We love our little Mac Mini.
Right.
There was an adventure getting it delivered, but we'll talk about that later.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, neighbors don't need to sign for your stuff.
Correct.
So that was stupid. Anyway, so we have that. We have a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, and then let's talk about the mics. So the mics is, where the magic happens to me, where like this is the sound that you're going to get. So these mics are the Rode. This is where it gets confusing. The Rodecaster Pro 2 is the soundboard. These are Rode Procaster microphones.
They need a good marketing company to help them with their names.
They're Australian. I give them a break. So Procaster, Rodecaster. Okay. Anyway, so these are Rode Procaster microphones, and here's what I learned about microphones. They've been around. I think this design's been around for 10 or 15 years, maybe plus, maybe 20 years.
It looks pretty old.
Right? Like they don't change them. Like
Yeah.
the alternative was a Shure or something 170 something. Devin would correct me right now, but those were built like in the 70s. They don't change them because they work beautifully. Anyway, so these mics are $172 each. We got new swing arms. So these arms that you see here in the video, these are some Rode PSA-1. We did Rode everything because I didn't want to think about it.
That was a bundle, wasn't it?
It was cheaper to make my own bundle.
It was a unbundled. It was a deconstructed bundle.
Yeah, don't be confused. Sometimes those bundles don't save you money; they just pretend to. Anyway, got the swing arm, got the cable running through. Then we had these nice little cages here. These are Rode something cages. I don't know, Rode branded cages. What that does, even when they move, you're not getting a bunch of feedback in your mic. Super, super stable.
Right.
All that being said, with everything in, this is about a $2,200 investment.
Right.
So $2,200, but what does it do for us? Way better audio quality. The setup process is quick. Now it takes about 30 seconds to turn on a podcast.
We turn on the lights, we turn on the TV, and we turn on the computer.
Yep, and then
Press play.
And since this computer is really not used for anything else but recordings, it does not mess with.
Right.
That was the biggest thing with yours. The second we turn your MacBook on, it may have been logged into some other account. You got disabled notifications. It just
All the things.
stair stepping, right? And it just
Right.
took forever. And then, or it needed to be charged and it wouldn't turn on. Like it was just layers. But now it's all and this little Mac Mini. So, but yeah, that's it. Like it's pretty straightforward, but it makes our life easier. And also, too, as a side note, this Rodecaster has a built-in recording ability. So if we needed to take this on the road and we don't have a computer to take with us, this can record locally to a little
We
SD
have
card.
to take this to Seven Figure Agency and get some people on the podcast.
We could.
We should.
We got everything we need.
Before y'all start turning this off and moving on to the next episode, keep in mind this is a bonus episode. This is
Yeah.
why we're not talking about marketing right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. This is just talking behind the scenes. This is the BTS episode.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, because we could, right? Because all this thing needs is power.
Mm-hmm.
It can record locally, just hit the button and go. And I think right now it can record up to 20 hours on an SD card, so we could have a fun time with it. And we also got these little socks, which is pretty standard, but these are Rode socks. Like I just went all Rode because I knew it all fit. So anyway, but no, that's it. So that's what we did. That's what we're doing. Hopefully in the next episodes you'll understand. Things sound a lot better. It's because of the setup we're doing here. But the offer out to you guys is simply, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, reach out to us. We've
Right.
literally been through the ups and downs of it.
So far.
Yeah, so far. 50 episodes worth at least. And we can give you advice. Like we can tell you what to do, what not to do. Just as another thing too, we use Anchor to distribute. So
Right.
Anchor.fm is a free platform. I'm not even sure what the paid version does, if it does anything. And it pushes the Apple Podcast, Google Podcast. It pushes everywhere. And it's good. It works well. Is it the end all be all? No, but it's the best free platform out there that gets the job done.
I love it, man. So a couple of takeaways. We always like to give you some action items whenever you're
Yep.
listening to even a bonus episode. The first thing I'm going to tell you is start with what you have.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Everybody has a cell phone in their pocket now.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I say that, it is the great equalizer in my mind. You're going to get the same video, the same audio, all the things.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you just take action through story or through content, you're going to separate yourself from all the competition. You don't have to worry about the quality so much as the story that
Yeah.
you're putting out there and the content that you're putting out there. You don't have to worry about the quality of it because these cameras are absurdly good.
Yeah.
Absurdly good.
Well, even the camera right now we're using is like a 3-year-old Logitech C920 camera, and we're about to replace it.
We are. Yeah. We're
Yeah.
going to, we've been using my cell phone.
Yeah,
Believe it
you-
or not, for all these episodes, we've been using my cell
And
phone.
when we switched over to this guy, just because we're trying to make it standalone.
Right.
But no, yeah, was it called Camo?
Yeah. Camo.
And which I think a new iOS update's coming where it removes the need.
Automatically link up to my phone. Anyway,
Yeah.
that being said, though, start with what you have. There's going to be all the technology keeps getting better. So the equalizer is the technology. The separator is putting out content.
Yep. I mean, because it doesn't matter how great your equipment is. If you're not putting out good content, nobody could care.
Right.
Period.
Second thing is invest and upgrade.
Mhm.
Like use what you have now, and then what it brings in, reinvest that into upgrades.
Yep.
So you can better serve your audience. Well, but you guys are marketers. I'm just a patient provider. Okay, start a podcast.
Yeah.
But I'm just a nurse listening, and okay, start a podcast.
You have passions and knowledge that people don't.
You want to know what? If you listen to this and you are a front desk person where you answer the phones and you put in billing, start a podcast. Everybody will freaking listen to your podcast, including me.
Yeah.
Because you are the key to the business.
Yep.
You just don't know it. That is our most listened to episode.
It
The
is.
front desk advantage is the most listened to episode that we have. And it's because the front desk is a critical component. Start a podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how awesome your business is if your front desk isn't performing.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like at that point, it all can fall apart.
Last takeaway, and then we'll wrap up, Michael. You ready for it?
Okay.
Leave us a review.
What was it from the one of the episodes? Be very specific.
Be very specific. I want you to leave us a review. Here's the thing. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button and hit the subscribe bell or whatever that is. You've heard it, right?
We're so real.
Right. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts,
Sorry.
I don't know what you just said over there. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or you're listening on the Google Podcasts or Spotify, go there to our platform and leave us a review. We'd love to get your feedback. Please give it to us. feel like I just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, a little bit of applause there.
I'm not used to it. I don't know what to do with my hands. You just put them straight up. It's a true story. All right, let's leave. This is bad. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Once again, this is just to help you guys out. This is behind the scenes, but we'll catch you on the next one.
Have a great week. Bye.